Good morning, everyone. Today is our sixth series of Buddha Dharma, Pure and Simple. The topic for today are the four immeasurables, four means of embracing, and 6 points of reverence harmony. The four immeasurables. Loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity are the four immeasurables. They are the cornerstones of reliance and abiding. By practicing the four immeasurables, one can subdue inner afflictions such as greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance. Let's see how the four immeasurables correspond with the working creed for Buddha's light members that Venerable Master Xun Yun have established for Guangshan. Immeasurable kindness is to give others confidence. Immeasurable compassion is to give others hope. Immeasurable joy is to give others joy. And immeasurable equanimity is to give others convenience. We notice that Buddhism is not only about a spiritual practice, but also a way of life. Some people are being deterred by the term immeasurables. The word immeasurable means that we can direct our loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity to immeasurable number of sentient beings. Also, the wholesome effect produced through practicing them is immeasurable. It is immeasurable because we do not limit to people that we love or concern. Our mind power is immeasurable. Therefore, we can direct loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity to immeasurable numbers of sentient beings. Venerable Master Xun Yun recoiled the four immeasurables to four givings, that is, giving confidence, giving hope, giving joy, and giving convenience. This sounds less daunting for most of us, but it is just two sides of a coin. Through practicing the four immeasurables, one will be able to improve interpersonal relationships and cultivate merits and wisdom that benefit the peace and happiness of countless sentient beings. How can the four immeasurables become the fundamental guidelines for self-establishment and dealing with situations in our daily lives? Immeasurable loving kindness. In dealing with people, one should always have a benevolent mind that gives others peace and happiness and shows empathy and willingness to serve others. During the late Qing dynasty, there was a chess master who hung a plaque in front of his house that proclaimed unbeatable. One day, during an expedition, Master Zhuo Zhongtang passed by the chess master's house and noticed the plaque. He decided to challenge the chess master and consequently defeated him 3 times. The minister said, "You lost 3 times in a row. It's time to take down that plaque." Several months later, Zhuo returned victoriously and passed by the house again, only to see that the plaque was still there. In reply to the minister's inquiry about why the plaque had not been removed, the chess master said, "May I invite you to another game?" This time, he defeated Zhuo 3 times. The chess master then explained, "Last time you visited, I did not wish to demoralize you, for you were headed to a battle. Therefore, I intentionally lost the game. Now that you have returned victorious, I need no longer show you any mercy. The chess master knew when to win and when to lose. Sometimes losing is winning, and winning is losing. Indeed, he was a real chess master who was willing to give others confidence. There is a valuable lesson we can learn from the chess master. At times, we may know something more than others, or have experienced something that others have yet to experience. We may lose patience listening to others expressing themselves. By listening patiently, we too rejoice over their experiences. Immeasurable compassion. Compassion is the intention of helping others transcend suffering and attain happiness. A compassionate mind does not discriminate between rich and poor, friend or foe, in the face of worldly suffering. By giving to all beings equally, one is like the sun that shines upon the whole world selflessly. Venerable Master Xing Yun always mentioned that he has no special skills or teachings. He just tells his follower there's always hope for tomorrow. Through giving others hopes, one is heartened about the future. Although hope may not always materialize, a life with hope is a life of wealth, for a goal is set for the future. It is easy for one to alleviate suffering of a good person. But what about those who are not? When the government announced the phases of vaccination rollout, the inclusion or exclusions of prisoners in the second phase has sparked controversy. It is easy to help or give others when we already possess them. But currently, there are vaccine shortage throughout the world. Many of us have not gotten the vaccines during the announcement. There is a conflict of interest. But there is also the moment we look deeply into the word compassion. Where else there seems to be no question that frontline health workers must be the first group to receive the vaccine. The inclusion or exclusion of prisoners in the next phase has sparked controversy. It is a challenge for most people to not discriminate between rich and poor, friend or foe, in the face of world suffering. Immeasurable joy. A joyous mind delights in the success of others, no matter whether they are enemies or friends, family or strangers, people with or without affinities. When one treats others with a joyful mind, others will feel warm and assured. There was a memorable moment in the recent Tokyo Olympics. Tamburi from Italy and Bashim from Qatar had a tie in the high jump competition. It was then expected that both men would enter a jump off. Then Bashim asked if it would be possible to share the gold medal. When it was said that this could be done, both men broke off in celebration. When being interviewed after the event, Bashim said, "I know for a fact that for the performance I did, I deserve that goal. He did the same thing, so I know he deserved that goal." This is an example of a joyous mind delights in the success of others. Winning is not about defeating others. In the workplace, how would you respond to a higher position being taken up by another person? There are many similar types of situations in life. Are we ready to rejoice over others' success? Rejoicing in others' success or good deeds is one of the Buddhist practices. This is specifically for the overcoming of envy, jealousy, and discontent. Nothing is as valuable as joy in this world. Having too much money may bring misfortune if misused. Having too many possessions may be troublesome if one lacks storage space. Excessive mundane wealth or possessions will inevitably cause problems. But the more joy one gives, the greater the chance in creating a win-win situation. Immeasurable equanimity. Equanimity means to relinquish discrimination and attachment, as well as greed and fetters. Equanimity means to give joy and hope to others, and also to willingly give away one's treasured possessions. This enables one to control greed and desire, to achieve liberation and be at ease. As the saying goes, to give is to gain. By showing a smile, actively helping and serving others, a simple wholesome act such as lighting a lamp or offering a drink will be reciprocated with kindness. Equanimity is one does not push aside the things one dislikes or grabs at the thing one prefers. The mind rests in an attitude of balance and acceptance of things as they are. In our quest for happiness, we mistake excitement of the mind for real happiness. We did not get to experience the joy that comes with peace and tranquility. Equanimity is characterized as promoting neutrality towards all beings. Its functions is to see equality in beings. It is manifested as the quieting of resentment and approval. Before attaining Buddhahood, one must first develop good affinities. One should broadly form good affinities with others in life. If Buddhist practitioner can uphold the four immeasurables, loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, not only will one's merits and wisdom increase, but afflictions will also be eliminated. For these are the four secrets to success in the journey of life. There are numerous ways to deliver sentient being in Buddhism. One being the four means of embracing, which refers to embracing all sentient beings with four practices: generosity, kind words, altruism, and empathy. For example, practicing generosity gives rise to favorable impressions. Praising others develops good camaraderie. Altruistic actions give others convenience. and an understanding friendships earn the trust of others. As the saying goes, first entice with desire, then lead into the Buddha wisdom. These are ways that one can liberate people to enter into the Buddha teachings. Generosity means to broadly form good affinities with others. It can be giving of cash or kinds, volunteering services, or speaking kind words. This leads to the next point. Kind words are an art of speaking. Some people speak with hurtful words. Some speak hypocritically or dishonestly, and thus are unable to move others. Kind words are not expression of flattery, hypocrisy, or nonsense. Praise should be given at the appropriate moment and in an inspiring manner. The language used for teaching lessons should inspire the listener to accept them, clarify any doubts, and happily put them into practice. Altruism means to help others progress. Before influencing others, one must first serve others by helping them grow and improve, as well as give others supportive conditions so they progress and accomplish their goal. Empathy means working with others. In society, people come together to form a party, community, or affiliations due to shared ideology. Similarly, if one wishes to embrace others as friends or colleagues, one must first find similar ideas and values to interact and work together. For example, when meeting an elderly farmer, engage in conversations about topics that are familiar to the farmer. When meeting a child, talk about subjects that children understand easily and find it interesting. Whatever the other person wish or liked, put oneself in the other's shoes and think in terms of their needs.
Cooperation and coexistence in interpersonal relationships depends on shared affinities and ideas. When dealing with people and situations, one is only accepted by others through touching their hearts, bringing them joy, benefiting them, and giving them a chance to shine. It means not to demand that everyone be the same as oneself, whether they be friends, colleagues, families, spouses, or siblings. The four means of embracing help bring people closer together through loving kindness, compassion, and skillful means. It is a wondrous Dharma that allows one to improve interpersonal relationships and provides a guideline on managing oneself and dealings with others.
From the dawn of time, wise sages have emphasized the importance of interpersonal harmony. In Buddhism, it is often said that a monastery prospers when there are no disputes. Conflicts can be avoided when interpersonal harmony is achieved. The 6 points of reverence, harmony, are practiced by the Sangha to maintain harmony, facilitate, and conduct daily affairs. Buddhist monastics are required to follow the Dharma in all aspects of life and abide by the 6 points of reverence, harmony. This includes their interactions, views, daily affairs, and spiritual cultivation. Due to this consensus and practice, the Sangha can live together in joy and harmony without disputes. Harmony refers to being harmonious in principles and in practice. In other words, monastics live in harmony by sharing the same understanding of the truth and the way daily affairs are conducted. The 6 points of reverent harmony are view, moral, economic, mental, verbal, and physical. Harmony in view through shared understanding. This means unity in ideology and to have a consensus in understanding. If there is discord in views, it will be difficult to live and work together. Hence, there should be harmony and consensus established in view. Having the same viewpoints means that we can harmonize with everyone, agreeing that we do not do certain things that will be the cause of quarrels. When I first went to the Buddhist college more than 20 years ago, every weekly assembly, we will talk about the college rules. Teachers or students would raise up issues of students breaking the community rules. Sometimes new rules will be added because of some misbehavior. After listening this for numerous assemblies, I got really bored over them and wonder what's wrong with these people who broke the community rules. But one day, our teachers told us that although we keep on saying the same thing in the assembly, but we had to learn to be patient with our fellow colleagues, classmates, and students. It takes time for a person to pick up a good habit and make it a way of their life. I saw the compassion of our teachers. These rules may look insignificant to some, but they are there to help us to grow spiritually. However, there will always be someone who could not understand the purpose of the rules. They were self-centered and would like to do things based on their whims and fancy. Imagine putting yourself in a big environment with more than 100 people living together. And what would life be like if there's no consensus among us? The weekly assembly were meant to get everyone together to reach decision by consensus rather than by majority vote. I started to appreciate these rules. They may cause a little bit of inconvenience to us. For example, you have to sleep and wake up at a certain time. You cannot stick out to the classroom to do self-study, despite that you could not fall asleep. We have to care for others' welfare. This is just one of the many things in the Buddhist college. A lot of people think that this is unbelievable, but we went through that type of training to put others before oneself. When we do this without resistance, then our compassion will slowly grow. When you look not in terms of yourself, but collective spiritual progress, you learn to give and take. Likewise, in a family, during the children's school examination, the parents may need to ensure that they create a conducive studying environment for their children. Parents may need to sacrifice having gathering at home. A family also needs to formulate shared views with family members to avoid conflicts. Parents teach children to express their views and explaining which are right or wrong. We know that the understanding of one person can never be complete as the combined understanding of many. In Foguangshan, we have a religious affair community. We use the collective wisdom of the community, which we come together to discuss. We reach decision by consensus. Everyone in the Sangha is training in the Buddhist view. Sharing these views help us in our communal practice. Moral harmony through sharing the same precepts. This means the equality of rules. Everyone should abide by the same set of precepts and rules without exception. No one has special privileges. In other words, everyone is equal before the law. There are both broad and narrow meanings within the word precepts. The narrow meaning includes upholding the 5 layperson precepts, monks or nuns precepts, or bodhisattva precepts. In a broader sense, observing precepts includes abiding by etiquette, custom, rules, and laws of the entire world. It is difficult in the society to get everyone to live harmony with the same sets of rules. With the recent COVID pandemic, there are countries which impose strict rules about wearing of masks. But there are people who strongly believe in their rights of not wearing masks. This is especially obvious when COVID-19 started to spread in the early 2020. Gradually, more people put on the mask when they went out of their house. But recently, there is this mask wearing fatigue. It is difficult to impose a rule on people if they could not understand the moral reason behind. In a family, if we want to live in harmony, then there should also be some acceptable behavioral norms governing interactions between family members. Economic harmony through equal sharing. This means equal economic sharing, where all living necessities are equally distributed among the members of the Sangha. There is no discrimination based on position or ranking. Hence, everyone has equal rights. For example, in Foguangshan, we have a monastic fund where all donations received during the Sangha days were consolidated and put into this fund. This fund will be available for medical expenses, educations, and our basic necessities like clothing, shoes, etc. At home, it would mean that parents provide children with the necessities and share among them. Likewise, the reverse holds true for adult children towards their aging parents. Equality is not sameness. Parents give their children equal opportunities. However, it will ultimately depend on each child's abilities or effort to determine their outcome. Mental harmony through shared happiness. This means the harmony of intention, that is, thoughts that promote harmony. We think about each other to understand one another. We appreciate and support each other when living in a community. If a person is self-centered, how could this person resonate with the concepts of dependent arising and no self? We can relate mental harmony through shared happiness to right intention in the Noble Eightfold Path. Hence, being able to practice mental harmony through shared happiness is one step towards spiritual goal. Verbal harmony through avoiding disputes. This means joy through words. There are no arguments or dispute. All conversations are spoken only in the language of a Buddhist monastery. Do not use harsh words or cause divisions between our sisters and brothers by our speech. Our words are revelations of our thoughts. We reflect on the effect of our words before speaking. Lastly, physical harmony through living together. This means a stable and joyful living environment. A temple is a community where everyone lives together. Since everyone has chosen a path of spiritual cultivation for joy, everyone should live together with a joyful heart. We respect the physical well-being of other people. Not physically harming other people in the community and taking care of each other. If someone is sick, we take care of them. In the family, there would be no physical abuse to parents, spouses, or children. Joy and tranquility are achieved because the Sangha communities adheres to the 6 points of reverent harmony. Likewise, a family that practices this will also be happy and free from strife. A team that follows this maximizes their teamwork potential. A society that practices the 6 is peaceful, joyful, and beneficial. A country that realizes that is prosperous. A country that realizes this is prosperous, healthy, buoyant, and organized. Sometimes we feel miserable living in a big community. But at the other hand, you realize that you gain a lot in your cultivation in a community. These miseries are the nutrients for your spiritual growth. It is like lotus in the mud. Without this mud, the lotus could not grow in a clean surface. A lot of people choose to avoid interactions in groups, thinking that would be good for themselves. There's always a limitation in the ivory tower. You cannot go as high as you wish. Your potential is being capped. Harmony is not hiding within the tower. Ultimately, the 6 points of reverent harmony are known as the 6 ways to build a harmonious world. If everyone practices accordingly, society will naturally be free from conflicts and countries will naturally be stable and prosperous. We have covered all this. Now we move on to the Buddhism examination.
Which is for Guangshan way of practicing the 4 immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, as taught in the Avatamsaka Sutra. A. Give others confidence is kindness. Give others hope is compassion. Give others joy is joy. Give others convenience is equanimity. If Buddhist practitioners can uphold the four immeasurable, loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, not only will one's merits and wisdom increase, afflictions will also be eliminated. The four universal vows should be chanted for the sake of Bodhisattva, and they are too difficult to be practiced and realized by lay people. The answer is false. Which of the following is not one of the four means of embracing practice? The answer is religion. We have finished for today's class. See you next week.